quickly. If we don't get to all the questions, then we'll get back to you. Um, just two sentences about me. I'm a part of Yoga Bharati and Yoga Kulam. I've also completed my master's in yoga from Vayu. Before we begin, as we doom scroll through the internet these days, right? Be it Instagram or WhatsApp, or if you've heard of any diet like keto, intermittent fasting, etc., etc., the buzzword is the gut health. Science is finally catching up, declaring that the gut is the MVP of immunity, mood, and even brain function. Ayurveda, of course, came in and said, I told you so. It teaches us how to eat according to our prakriti, enjoy seasonal food, well balanced diet, use kitchen heroes like ginger and turmeric to keep the gut health happy and singing. Today, it is my honor to introduce you to Usha ji and Sonal ji. Here's a little bit of a background on them. Usha Lavanya Pappu is originally from Visakhapatnam. She has completed her Ayurveda practitioner course at the California-based Ayurveda Institute of America back in 2003. Over the course of her career, she has treated numerous chronic conditions and has provided guidance to a large number of people. She's also a certified Panchakarma technician, mother and child health care, Ayurveda food and nutrition, and a certified yoga teacher. She's also a board member in Yoga Kulam. Thank you, Usha ji. Next, we have Sonal ji. Sonal Gupta is also a part of Yoga Kulam. He is originally from New Delhi. He came to the US to pursue his studies and currently lives in Houston. His doctoral training is in the areas of microbiology and immunology from University of Illinois and postdoc in gastrointestinal pathology from Johns Hopkins University and Medical Institute, Baltimore. He has worked as a research faculty in Johns Hopkins and later at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center and Graduate School of Biosciences. At both medical centers, he led biomedical and preclinical translational research in the areas of gastrointestinal disease, that's the gut disease, including cancer from the aspect of immunology, epigenetics, pathology, molecular biology, and animal models. While working in the Western medical system, he saw a gap in knowledge and practice of the current healthcare, which can only be filled with practice of Ayurveda. He is currently pursuing formal certification in clinical Ayurveda from California College of Ayurveda. However, he has studied Ayurveda for many, many years from various teachers and has been applying principles of Ayurveda not only to himself, this is the most interesting part, his family, but even to pets and plants. So we are just scratching the surface today. If you all are interested after this whole topic, if you're interested, do bug Srinivas Badamiji and Srivatsaji so that we'll have more sessions. So with that, over to Ushaji. Ushaji, I'll start your presentation and then you can start talking.
Namaste, everyone. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So today's topic is gut health through what Ayurveda is going to say through Ayurveda. But of course, it's just a 20 minutes session. We, as much as possible, I'll just cover. But of course, we can go more deeper and deeper. But in modern world, how can we say that I'm very healthy? So these medical test, blood work, every once in 6 months, every once in 3 months, people they'll go, my A1C number is under control, my cholesterol number is so and so, my thyroid, etc., etc. Some certain numbers are there to fit into that, then I can claim myself I'm very healthy. But Ayurveda is never go with numbers. And here is a one shloka is there: Samadosha, Samagni, Samadhatu, Samamala, Kriya, prasannatma indriya. This is what is we always say as a I'm healthy. Yeah. Next slide. So what when I say that samadhauta, samadhashu, dosha, sama agni, sama dhatu and all. So a person can claim I'm a swastha, which is I'm healthy, which is I'm having a very good gut health, and I myself claim healthy. So this shloka will explain that how we can keep healthy. So samadosha in Ayurveda, these three fancy words we will be keep on hearing, three doshas. And most of Indian mother tongues, the dosha comes under negative side. But as a medical people, like when is a positive is like very good sign for that. In the same way, in Ayurveda, dosha is like a positive side. So three doshas we always talk: vata, pitta, and kapha. So all three energy forces are in balance. Then we can say that I have all three doshas are in equal. And sama agni, all three agnis again. Agni in Ayurveda is nothing but gut health. So all three agnis are should be in equal, which is vatagni, pittagni, kaphagni. Sama dhatu. So Agni again goes into so deeper, so that it gives all the seven tissues. So assimilation and all kind of things, these things we might be hearing and more and more. So when we have all the dhatu, seven tissues are functioning very well, then I can claim myself as I'm healthy. And of course, the most important in Ayurveda, we always say sama malakriya, which is the body waste elimination is also should be most important. So if we have all in equal, example urine, bowel, sweat, earwax, etc., etc., then I can claim my blood work is samadosha, samagni, samadhatu, malakriya. This is my blood work. I can claim myself I'm having a good health. Next slide. Uh, So, in depth, the samadoshas, if I see in Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So, we have Vata, Pitta, Kapha is a very huge subject to understand it. Every time when we touch, we just give a glimpse of it. Here in depth for gut health to understand, Vata helps in digestion and carry the energies into the body. So when we say that we have inside our body what we call as oxygen and everything has five responsibilities to carry our food because it has a more of wind category or we can say oxygen. And when it is comes to the pitta helps so deeper in digestion, not at the only the stomach digestion and not only at the first digestion is at the mouth, of course, oral digestion, then it will go to digestive system, then it will go so deeper. The pitta helps in deeper dhatu nirman we call. So we cover more and more in that topic later. And kapha helps in collecting the body waste. And again in depth that we have samadhatu and samamala. The dhatus are in Ayurveda tissue based. What is the tissues are? Plasma, blood, fat, bone, bone marrow, and shukra dhatu. So a lot of days nowadays we see that we take a lot of supplements. I take calcium supplement, I take vitamin supplements, I take iron supplement. But our own body should form these tissues and absorb the food through our own food and will form this dhatus. In Ayurveda, this is most important. Gut health is stays here. So, and in the at the same time, and when we have anything like we are grinding something, we get the when we are taking the juice that we collect the pulp. The same way when the food is assimilating in a multiple stage by stage and it collect the body waste. So secretion, body secretion is also very very important. the undigested food, more and extra body waste, is stays, what in Ayurveda we call is ama. So here is what we always do, that if all we forget about it, when we don't have these dhatus, or this digestion, these malakriyas are not happening, that means our we have a undigested food is sitting in the system. That is we gave a nice name, Ayurveda, called ama. So our food should not form any ama for it. So Usha, you all these are things are very good, fantastic. But how am I going to keep myself swastha? How I can keep myself healthy? Ayurveda always says food is your medicine. But how? What we eat is really matters. Example, am I eating my food does have any life in it? Is my food has any rasa in it? Or my food has any taste in it? That we have to identify. Example, every time whenever we see our plate is like our food, before we eat our food we say the mantra, also we pray God, and then please this food should convert into my medicine and should give that energy, give me back. The same way, when we see the plate, the food should have a life in it. Oh, what does that mean? What life it is? Example, when my food I'm cooking, I'm preparing, my food has some quality of life for certain time, which is maximum 3 hours. So my if I should cook and consume immediately, then my food has fantastic life in it. That is the one thing we have to be very careful. And how am I eating? Nowadays we eat our food by in front of the screen, or while we are having a hot conversation, or while we are having office meetings, or sometimes when we are in the car rush to do a lot of things, we grab something and we eat. That is also we do our own mistakes, and we develop our, as I said, in Ayurveda we gave a fantastic word called ama. So where my food is coming also we should be thinking. Example, is my food is mostly canned food? Is my food mostly packed food? Or is my food is restaurant food? Sorry, I do also go to restaurant, but restaurant foods are not good. So is my food, where is my food is coming? So these three things, if we can think, then how my food is digesting and promoting good health, we can achieve the by the fourth statement, where my what we are eating, how I'm eating, and where my food is coming. And then of course, this is fantastic. You are telling me, is there any solution? Ayurveda is not only a medical, a ancient medical system, it gives that solution. It's a preventive medicine. How? We can see in this slide. Ayurvedic recommendations for optimal gut health. Eat according to your dosha. Just now we covered it. Maintain a strong Agni. Avoid ama formation. A fantastic a chapter here is Viruddhahar, and detox the gut and promote healthy elimination, strength, and all. And what are the highlighted words I will be covering today? And what I'm going to talk is eat according to your dosha. So again and again, I'm talking here is Ayurveda is primarily is a tailor made. It is not a universal thing that okay, entire humankind eat only cereals. Sorry, Ayurveda cannot say that. Ayurveda is a very specifically it a tailor made a medical system. And eat according to your dosha means we should know what is my dosha and all. And it is a very tough that how I can know my dosha and all. Very simple way we can go. If we have a very anxiety personality, or if we have very a tall personality or very lean personality, having a lot of dry skin, or people who are like more super active and multi-talented multitasking personalities, you can cover yourself as a vata. And then if you are very super strong personality, and like like a fire, talking like a fire, and you cannot hold any of your emotions inside, you just very expressive personality, or perfectionist is the best word to identify yourself, is your pitta. Or a kapha person is more of, it's okay, it's okay, if whether you like it, whether you don't like it, we don't want to express and hurt anybody, everything they keep it inside, so that we can consider as a kapha people. So these are the basic things, but of course more and more we can know your doshas. And if you are a vata person, please try to avoid no dry food and salads. And if you're a vata person, and if you keep on eating dry nuts, and if you keep on eating salads, and your digestive system cannot understand, already it has a vata as a predominant nature, it can imbalance, or it can aggravate vata, and can it create more ama, it can disturb our gut health. Or if the person is a pitta person, no spicy food, no extreme sour food, and oily food. Example, I would say pickles, or spicy peanuts, and spicy like nuts, or green chili, or anything deep fried or greasy food. They should avoid it. Otherwise, their gut health is going to disturb them. And kapha people, and no heavy grains, sweets, overcooked food. Example, heavy grains. What are heavy grains? Rajma, or chole, or any such heavy carrying heavy grains, kind of a barley or oats, those kind of things, they should avoid it. And Ayurveda is a fantastic Shastra. It has given that not only the human personalities and divided into three doshas, even our day, 24 hours are also divided into different energy forces. Like in our Indian Panchangam, we have that Muhurta Kalam. Like, this from this period to this period, we have a strong Amavasya period, or from this period to this period we have Ekadashi period. The same way in Ayurveda, we do have certain timings. Those timings, the energy forces will be super strong. So the morning hours are more of a kapha. Kapha is, like I said, more of a sluggish, more of heavier, more of not non-motivative time. So that and that energy is super strong. It has a heavy load on us. We call it a gurutva time. It's a heavy load on us. The morning hours should not eat heavy nuts and dry cereals. We should be avoiding. And afternoon time, no matter what, is a sunny day, snow day, rainy day, doesn't matter. Our Agni is super strong. Your digestive Agni will be like, give me anything, I can digest. It's a super strong, like a young kids. And we should have midday meal. That also should have a heavy, good meal. So in Western people, they have that big fat dinner, but convert big fat
Hmm.
lunch. This Ayurveda always promotes it. And in the evening, towards evening, nor kapha or nor pitta, more of kapha only, more having a lighter of vata also adds into, takes a heavy load in the towards the evening. Then we should eat light food. Then if we can manage having a food schedule like this, we can definitely can control our gut health, like not to spoil it. And of course, maintain strong agni. This is most important, that we should always think about it. Eat at regular intervals. Nowadays I'm hearing in my practice, I see a lot of clients intermittent fasting, and they just left and right they do intermittent fasting. And they say that my previous night, of course, first of all, evening should not have heavy meals. On top of that, they'll have a heavy meal. Oh, I had a meal at night 10 o'clock, and my next meal I will have it at next day 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So whenever they want, they just keep on taking in like a lot of heavy intervals to take the food. that we should not do that. So always allow time for digestion before your next meal, and at the same time don't take too much gaps also. Two, either two extreme ends we will see, 4 times 5 times they keep on eating, and extreme ends that they don't eat 18 hours, they don't eat 14 hours, they don't eat 12 hours. And another thing in Ayurveda always emphasize that eat warm fresh food. Okay, we are all having a cold weather. I always eat warm food, but that is not what we are calling warm or cold food here. Avoid cold food means the food should not have a cold tattva, which is salads, cold breads, cold sandwiches, or peanut butter jelly. Just do it, and then in the school after 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, kids they eat is a cold food. And leftover food, I love it. Fridge, refrigerated food, and processed food, and that can weaken our agni. And again, spices to support agni. Lot of people they say that, oh, I don't eat spicy food. I don't my body cannot tolerate the spicy food. But there are good spices are there. We should develop and start giving our kids to give a good spices like a cumin, ginger, black pepper, and turmeric. These are the very basic things that they enhance the digestive system. So these are the good things that we should also promote. So we completely should not no to anything, and at the same time extreme ends up over spicy food also not good. And last one, chew your food properly. A lot of people they say that chew your liquids. So how can I chew my liquids? So that is the trick. So chew your food properly, because in that again and again you will get more knowledge on this, because our saliva has a lot of good bacteria. So we have to chew our food properly. And Usha's favorite topic is Viruddhahar. This is what we always, we make blunder mistakes, and then we create our own ama inside. Viruddhahara is nothing but incompatible foods. Before I talk about that, and after this talk, anybody can do this small experiment. Take a turmeric powder and then squeeze a lemon on top of it and see the color. It will turn into red color. So that means a turmeric or a lemon, those two are not just foods. They have some chemical, like a medicinal chemical reactions can create inside. The same way, our favorite food is milk. Without milk, we cannot live. But milk and fruit, nowadays, very commonly I'm hearing smoothies. So the smoothie concept is really bad. Or a fruit juice or fruit milkshake concept is very bad. A fruit and milk should not be combined. And our next thing is milk and salty food, which is typically we have this afternoon time, a chai with a namkeen, chai with a cookie, chai with a snacks. Very bad. The same thing, rather you can take a cup of milk and then put a salt and drink it. We don't do that. But indirectly we do a wrong choices, and we don't imagine that this gut is our most important digestive place. We just put it in a trash can. So that we should be avoided. Of course, milk and fish also should not be combined. And turmeric, and as I said, like citrus and hot water. Lot of people they take hot water, boil, and then just to put the throw that the turmeric, and then the turmeric can turn into the different colors. We should be very careful. And nowadays they say that I don't eat any sweets. Now it used to be this big sugar container is replaced to big honey jar. So honey is also very carefully we should use, should not put it in a food, should not cook, should not put it in hot water. Very careful we should be using that. And it's curd, yogurt. So the previous slide. So the yogurt is also, we say that my kids, they don't eat anything. They love yogurt. They eat yogurt. Oh, Visha, they don't, if they don't eat yogurt, they don't get any calcium. No, sorry. After sunset, don't give any yogurt, or the food should not cook with yogurt. That is comes under heavy protein. Rajma, rice, yogurt. Don't feed your kids and don't eat you. Salads should not be consumed with cooked food. It's a wrong combination. Hot and cold. After having a fantastic cooked meal and cold beverages, ice cream, and the chefs, they spoiling us. A cold ice cream and hot gulab jamun. What a incompatible food. And then we start eating that. Then of course fruits. My friend don't eat any sweets, and then I make fruit salad. That is a wrong combination after having a fantastic meal and eating a fruit bowl. So don't do all these things. If we do, our we can increase our armor. Yeah, next.
Usha ji, we just have like few more minutes.
So avoid this armor. How we can avoid this armor is the food. As I said, I've been telling, don't eat stale food, overcooked food. Don't reheat your food and eat. Emotional. When you are emotionally disturbed, don't eat food. That will become ama, that will become a vishamahara, that will not digest. Our gut cannot handle anymore. And especially, we have a family dinner concept. What do we do in family dinner? Either we talk about worldly news issues, or we fight, or the kids, if the kids are sitting with us, any school notice if they received, and we will be talking while they are also eating, so that food will not digest. So make sure that when we have it emotionally imbalanced, don't eat your food, don't avoid it. Sleep, this sleep is also very very important. In Ayurveda they say that avoid daytime sleep, avoid late night sleep. So daytime also we should not sleep, and late night also we should not sleep. And there are supportive lifestyle practices, dinacharya, systematic schedule, yoga practices, daily yoga, morning and evening. Both the sandhya time we can do yoga. Abhyangana, oil massage before taking shower. Do little bit of sesame oil and do abhyangana. Food intake, warm cooked breakfast, heavy lunch, light meal. And water. Before 6 a.m., you can take 2 glasses of water. If you are getting up at 8 o'clock, don't drink 2 glasses of water. You can sip water. And after 2 p.m., you can take 4 glasses of water. And then sleep before 10 o'clock and wake up at 4 o'clock. And then, do some these kind of lifetime practices. Of course, this clock will give more detail, but we don't have time to explain the clock. And then in Ayurveda, we do have other keeping the gut health is a Ruticharya, which is seasonal detoxes. We call is a gut detox. How do we do? Panchakarma will help it. Ayurvedic detox therapy is like a Virechana, which is a forceful purgation, and Basti, enema, can help the gastrointestinal tract. And then we do other herbal detoxes are there. At home, we can do a triphala, a gentle laxative. Ajwain relieves the bloating and indigestion. And ginger will improve the agni. Whenever we have a low agni or gas or any nauseating thing, we can go with a ginger tea and all. And other herbs we can talk we hear, and then we can see, then they are very very helpful. And in last, holistic gut health in Ayurveda emphasizes that a gut is more than just a digestive organ. It's a seat of immunity and mental well-being. Maintaining a strong agni and a toxic-free system ensures vitality, disease resistance, and emotional state. Then you are.
Thank you, Usha ji. I think most of us are guilty of everything that you just spoke about. We have a lot of stuff to start detoxing. I think January is a good month. So thank you. When you said smoothie, I was like, oh my God. All right, over to Sonal ji. I see some of the questions coming in. We have results on the poll. Looks like most of the gut personality is digesting everything perfectly, overachiever. That's like real quick. So thank you. Sonal ji, now I will share your slides and then
Okay. Yeah, I saw some comments that the presentation went very fast. Um, Believe me, if you spend 10 years, it will still feel, we don't know anything. It's a good start of the year and good start, good learning concepts. At least we know we're doing a lot of wrong stuff. So we heard a lot about Ayurveda and 9 o'clock p.m. in the Central Time, perfect time for gastroenterology 101. So after this 15 minutes, you all become like gut specialist. You'll know what gut is. Okay. So so that we're talking about gut and Ayurveda. So far, we have heard about Ayurveda and we have heard about a gut is central to our health according to Ayurveda. Even the Western medicine also believes that gut is the core for all health and diseases, and it's the epicenter for mental, physical health. And so I'll just mention 4 points which brings it to the epicenter. One is that, as we heard from Usha ji, it's a key site for digestion of ahar, food, and also the place where all the agnis, main agnis, digestive agnis are present. It's also the main site for our immune system, which protects us. It's also the key site for our nervous system, and I'll go into detail of what these are. And also the key site for something which some of you might have not heard about, which is called microbiome. And we'll go into that detail also, or maybe you've heard about it. This is what these days probiotics are. Okay. So can you go to the next slide? Yeah, before we go into the gut, I just want to cover some of the points which Usha ji covered about food. Food being the one third, we have three pillars of health according to Ayurveda, and ahar is the first pillar. So I'll just talk about some of the parts just to emphasize on some of the points Usha ji made, which is relevant to this section of the presentation. So the food, whatever we call as food or herbs, they have something called qualities called Dravya Gunas, which is rasa, virya, vipaka, prabhava. Rasa, loose translation would be rasa would be taste, virya would be potency, vipaka would be post digestive effect, prabhava will be the special effects. And every food also have six taste. We have heard about like we know sour, sweet, bitter, astringent, salty, like that. We have six taste, and these taste have effect on our digestion, but they also have impact on the other aspects which we are covering in this presentation. And the factors, we can just go one back. Just want to bring in some of the words which I think just to make sure that they were not missed. So the factors which affect the food we take or our nutrition is the prakriti, not only of the doshas which Ushaji was talking about, but prakriti of the food, the doshas of the food, and how they are processed. So Ushaji talked about not processed, ultra processed, not eating out or ripping the bag and eating from them. Some yoga is what the combinations of food, Viruddha she was talking about, how much we eat, the quantity, and the desha or habitat where the food is growing and where we are eating it. The kala is the time of the day, time of the season, and the our age, time of our life. And upayogta is the responsibility at who is eating, right? And the upayog samsa, which is the general rules of there are like generally 15 rules of healthy eating. So all of these, not only they are the factors which affect ahar, but they have impact on the other aspects of gut health as well. Can you go next? Yeah. So now, what is gut? Okay, gut, gastrointestinal tract, whatever it is. Maybe all of you know, but this is a pictorial presentation according to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive Health. And so this is what you see here. This is all gut. So pretty much our whole body, you can see the mouth as well as the anus. So starting from here all the way down. And that's why we enter the food enters from here and comes out, whatever comes out from anus. So from lip to anus, and in between that, gut is 30 feet long. And we'll see why it's that long and why it's the core of our epicenter of our health. So in that 30 feet, it's interacting with various organs, it's interacting with tissues, cells, not only related to digestion, but also what nutrition is produced and assimilated. It's also interacting with our nervous system, where brain interacts with the gut, which is what we call as brain-gut axis, and it's also interacting with the immune system, what protects us. So the immune system in the gut is called enteric immune system, and the nervous system in the gut is called enteric nervous system. And we'll go to the next slide. So, and again, it might be too much. Don't worry about it. You don't have to remember. There's no exam after this. But just to give you the sophistication of the system, why Ayurveda plays so much importance and Western medicine plays so much importance on gut health. So, gut, we know digestive organ, but it's also the largest sensory organ in our body. So, we know that we have brain has a lot of nerve cells, we call it, but some on some estimates say that we have more nerve endings or more nerve cells in our gut than in our brain. And so, we talk about mind, gut, brain, all those things. We're talking about bidirectional communication. And so how that happens is because there are a lot of nerves which are starting from brain, ending in gut. And they are the one which are taking the signals from the gut. Whatever we eat, whatever comes out of digestion, whatever ama is produced, whatever hormones are produced, whatever nutrients are produced, that's how our brain know. And that's how, the signal goes to the mind and the other aspects of our existence. So, and, all these things, nutrients which are produced in the gut, which interact with the nervous system, they're called neurotransmitters. And gut produces more than 30 neurotransmitters. And it'll be interesting fact coming after this, which I'm sure a lot of people don't know. We'll come to that part. But here, some of the neurotransmitters, they are so unique to the gut that they are not produced anywhere else, and they are not produced in other organisms also. They are very unique to humans. Okay? And that's what makes human gut very special. Can we go to the next one? Okay, so again, you don't have to look at the slide in detail, but this is just to show some complexities. You see that layer, that's our gut lining. When we eat, the gut lining, when we say, oh, I'm getting indigestion, whatever is burning is that. When you see the red mark inflammation, is that you feel that I have some burning. You ate a high pitta food and you have a pitta prakriti, that's what happens. And you see all the cells which are present here, all those things you see on the slide, they are different. They are together, they make our immune system. So immune system, again, is the system of our body which protect us from both outside and internal threats. And 70 to 80% of immune system resides in gut. And that's why, our survival depends on our gut health. And that's why Ayurveda places so much importance on that. So now when we say our gut starts from mouth and ends at anus, so you can see the protection starts from the mouth. And when we have saliva, Usha was talking about, you have to chew your food well because you're mixing all those healthy bacteria in the mouth, which are present in saliva, with the food. So all this immune system, which are present in gut, or they call gut-associated lymphoid tissue, don't worry about it. They can kill anything, any pathogen which comes from outside, viruses, bacteria, fungi, and they get help from the bacteria which are present in the gut. We'll come to that one next. But these these cells, they are the one which are also ending up in the saliva. And if you notice that when people or animal, when they get hurt, they have injury, the first instinct is to lick it, because saliva, which is again connected with the gut, has that protection, the first protection. And dogs might, I mean, they still do that. Animals have stopped doing it, but dogs still do that. So that's the first instinct. But what Ayurveda teaches that how we can keep our saliva healthy so that it has that protective effect. Okay. And so we'll come into the next slide. Yeah. So now come to the interesting part. So this is again the gut, and we had all our immune system there. But if you notice the top part, you see a lot of bacteria there. Okay. So that is what those bacteria are called gut microbiome, the whole collection of all the bacteria, all the microbes, and mostly bacteria which are present in gut. That's called gut microbiome. So in the enteric immune system is interacting with this gut microbiome and providing us the protection. So how much of these bacteria are present in our gut? So we don't have an open quiz here, but if I would ask anybody that if you know how many bacteria we have in our body, so the answer would be more than 100 times our own cells. So our genes or our genome produces, our body, and then it has all the cells. Bacteria, which comes from outside, they are more in a body than our own cells. So, and they are present everywhere, not only in gut, they start from hair, and if even skin, which is the outer reflection of our gut, they're present on the gut. So they're present everywhere in the body. And but whatever we put in our gut or the state of gut decides what's the quality of these bacteria will be in every part of our body. And if you're wondering how disease happen, that's how disease happen. So when the gut, all the slides Ushaji presented, if you do all the things right and prevent all the things wrong, these bacteria will be healthy and you'll have the strongest immune system. Because these bacteria are the one who produce all those chemicals which protect us, which kills the bad guys, like bad fungi, bad pathogens, and bad worms, and promote the growth of the good ones, the good bacteria. And they are the one which produce some of the neurotransmitters which you talked about, which our body cannot produce. So we are dependent on these healthy bacteria to produce those transmitters, and they are the one which affect our mind, which affect our thoughts. So whenever we have, we ate something viruddhahar, Ushaji was talking about. Whenever we eat viruddhahar, immediately our mind gets affected because of the enteric nervous system and because of the role how this gut microbiome gets affected. So whenever we are nervous, our gut gets affected. If you have, evaluation coming or something, immediately some people get diarrhea, some people get constipation. The Vata individuals, they will be all over, and that's how the gut is interacting with the brain and through this microbiome. Next slide. And in the just I'll mention one thing about the gut microbiome. We'll go more into the gut microbiome part. A lot of vitamins which we're popping these days, Ayurveda doesn't talk about popping vitamins, right? They are vitamins. That means they're most essential nutrients we need. And where do they come from? So Ayurveda talks about a lot of herbs. When we eat those herbs, what produces those vitamins are these gut microbiome. So in Ayurveda, they are called krimis. So krimi is a Sanskrit term for microscopic organisms, or what we call as microbes. And based on the pathogenesis, they are either called Vikarika, which is Sahaj, and Vikarika, which is the pathogenic ones. So the Sahaj one are the non-pathogenic one, which is what we're talking about as the gut microbiomes or the probiotics and the healthy bacteria, which are present everywhere, all over our body. And so whatever disrupts the Sahaj Kirimi, that's what affects our health according to the Ayurveda. And so we talked about gut microbiome producing all those things, all different factors, but they all depends on the Sahaj bacteria. Okay, and these Sahaj krimis are the one which are causing all the effects which we see from Ayurvedic herbs. Can we go to the next one? Yeah, so we'll go to the so all the now the connection with the Ayurveda, all the slides which Ushaji presented about food rules and all the things which we do, whether they're detox or food loss, they all affect our gut microbiome. Okay, for example, we have good bacteria here in the mouth. So people who use toothpaste or use alcohol-based mouthwash, they generally have effect on their mind, have their effect in the gut, and they have effect on the heart. A lot of heart disease have been associated with a lot of toothpaste and mouthwash use. So Ayurveda teaches us to use Jiva Dhauti, use Datun, the twigs, oil pulling, all those methods because it recognizes the importance of preserving those healthy bacteria in the mouth. And all the food guidelines we have learned today, all of those time of eating, right? The clock about what should we eat. Those gut bacteria have the same clock. So evening time, when dinner time, or this time right now in Central, because if we are not supposed to eat, is because our gut bacteria are sleeping. So if you eat something which we call as Agni is weak, because those gut bacteria which produces Agni, they are sleeping. So we should not be eating. In the morning when sun rises up, the gut bacteria rises up and then their digestive power comes back, and we can eat, and they peak at the noon time. Eating food according to our prakriti, same thing. Whenever we eat food which is not according to our prakriti, that disrupts the gut microbiome. So now modern research have shown people, when they're not eating according to their prakriti, they immediately get dysbiosis. The bacteria balance shifts. And so same thing happened with if we don't eat food according to the place we live in, or to the traditions or the climate or season. So not eating seasonal fruits immediately disrupts the gut microbiome. And Ayurveda puts a lot of emphasis on that. Um, when we say Desh, a lot of times we are eating exotic food these days, food which our gut has never seen. So we don't have the bacteria which can digest those kind of food. And that's what Ayurveda plays importance, that we should not be eating something which our gut has never seen. We should be careful about. We should start slowly with that. Food with the right amount of moisture, because we talked about, Ayurveda says that you should have, when we eat food, there should be at least half a cup of moisture in it, or water in it. If not, then you take small sips, because that also affects how gut microbiome interacts. The mucosal lining of the gut, where these bacteria live, they need to have the right amount of moisture. When it comes to what we should eat, there's always a recommendation: eat for two. If you eat just what your taste buds like or what your tongue like, and you starve the gut bacteria, that's a sure shot recipe to get sick. So when you say eat for two, you have to eat what is good for the gut microbiome. And in Ayurveda, when you say do not have a long gap, because you could be starving your gut bacteria, or if you don't eat food which are fresh, seasonal, which doesn't have the right amount of moisture, it doesn't have the right amount of good bacteria on them, and also which are not produced. So the right kind of bacteria is also not present on that. That is something which causes disruption. And can we go to the next slide? So we have just two more slides. And this is a very busy slide. I'll just say what the meaning of this slide is. So in Ayurveda, we say that when you eat too much or you eat too less, then it causes gut microbiome or dysbiosis. So eating too much, the way it's been seen in the modern research, when you eat too much, food doesn't stay right amount of time in the right compartment. We saw the picture where there were different compartments of digestion. So then when food, undigested food ends up in our large intestine, where most of these bacteria are, they start working on it, and that's a site for vata. The large intestine is considered a sign of vata, is the site for vata, and that produces a lot of bloating. So these days, when people have IBS or they have a lot of bloating, is mainly contributed to the gut microbiome. And eating incompatible food, of course, is that. So this is the quote from one of the Ayurvedic scriptures, where they're talking about all these rules which causes the growth of bad bacteria or the bad krimis. And we don't have to go through all this, but this is what Usha ji was covering as part of Ayurvedic guidelines for good digestion and for good Agni. Can you go to the last slide? Yeah. Now the most interesting part of the relation between when we say Ayurveda, most people understand Ayurveda with the herbs. So even now, when we have a patient or client come in for Ayurvedic consultation, they want herbs, right? So what is the role of herb? How does those herb works? So now a lot of research is being done in role of gut microbiome and the Ayurvedic herbs, like ashwagandha, turmeric or haldi. We have triphala is the most common one. There's so many, shatavari. And what they found, most of these, the rasayan herbs, or amla being alone by itself also, most of these Ayurvedic herbs, they act as prebiotics, or they act as the food for the gut bacteria. So not only they are the food which the gut bacteria love, it immediately boosts their growth and their diversity. And also, there are a lot of beneficial compounds which our body cannot produce. Only those gut bacteria can produce. So these herbs, when we take in those bacteria, they produce some beneficial compounds, which labs are doing. They're using mass spectroscopy to identify these unique compounds, which causes all the effects we see from these herbs. Effect on our doshas, effect on mind, all the effects. They are now being attributed to good gut health. So when people don't have, so in the times when Ayurvedic scriptures were written, people were not eating a lot of processed food. They were not taking antibiotics and all. So most of the people had good gut health. They had the good amount of bacteria. So when they took herbs, it immediately gave them benefits. Now, when people say Ayurvedic herbs do not work or they work only for chronic conditions, they don't work for acute condition, it's because the effect is slow. The reason is that we don't have the right amount and right kind of gut bacteria. So the strategies to bypass that is fermenting the herbs, which is what Ayurveda also talked about. All those fermented wines, which were called fermented wines, are the fermented herbs. So if we don't have the good bacteria to digest that, they can be uh, done outside, and then we drink them. So if you if you read or if you're told in certain season we should be drinking wine, they're not talking about wine merlot or pinot noir. They're talking about Ayurvedic wines, which are the fermented herbs. And a very interesting fact, which is now we can call it a fad or the most happening thing, a thing called FMT, fecal microbial transplant. That has become the treatment for most of the diseases now, which is you take poop from a healthy person, give it to a diseased person, and you can reverse the disease. So FMT is directly not mentioned in Ayurveda, but we had the concept of Panchagavya. We had the concept of using cow dung everywhere in our kitchen. We're coating our walls, floor, everything with cow dung. So we're surrounding ourselves with the healthy bacteria so that we can have similar way of fecal microbial transplant. Chinese medicine used to give them they used to literally give the poop and for people to drink. Ayurveda does not do that. But because we had a lot of cows, so protecting our cows and living around healthy cows was the way Ayurveda protected us all these centuries using gut microbiome. I'll finish here and we'll take questions. I hope I didn't cross the time limit. Ranjita ji?
Not at all. Thank you so much, Sonalji. The science, the way you, Ushaji, and you have connected the science and Ayurveda is amazing. Thank you. So now we'll move on to the Q&A. First thing everyone is asking is, can we get the slides? Yes, yeah, I can share it with, okay, I'll share it with Srinivas Badamji and then you all can get it. The next question is, how do we identify our doshas and prakriti?
Okay. When the very easy way to identify your constitution by yourself is physical. By knowing your body physic, Vata is like more wind predominant. So Vata people are very narrow built and having a tall nails or tall fingers, or they are tall people or short, extreme short, or they're more of a wind personalities like multi-talented, multitasking, creative, talkative. They cannot sit at one place, or they might have a lot of anxiety. Or Pitta people, as I said, they are very sharp, straightforward. Like they don't like beating around the bush. Kapha people are like they don't want to hurt others. They take load on them. In my Ayurvedic college, my teacher used to say it in a fun way. Maybe it might helpful for to identify yourself. If you have invited your friend for dinner at 7 p.m. and your friend has arrived at 8 o'clock, if you are a Vata person, instead of opening the door, you will be having a lot of anxiety. Oh my God, they are already here. If you are a Pitta person, you open the door, you are already 1 hour late. Come on in. If you are a Kapha person, you will be sitting next to the door. Is anybody there? Please open the door. They don't even care whether they have invited. The friend arrived 1 hour late. They are very chill, calm person. That is the one way that you can identify.
I can give a short answer to this. So there are a lot of websites and a lot of apps which has. So I use 50 plus different parameters to describe Prakriti and Vikriti. There are a lot of websites you can do that. But these apps or websites are same as astrology websites or apps. You can get the Kundali, but to interpret that you need a astrologer. So same way I would recommend that get those analysis done, but definitely talk to an Ayurvedic practitioner because what you think you understand with those terminology, they will tell you something else. So do the analysis, get the analysis done, and talk to a practitioner. They can explain because this is not just the digestion; it's about whole personality and mind, body, and everything.
Thank you. Next question is, what is a good time and quantity to eat Triphala Churna?
I can give answer, then Usha ji can give the answer. So Triphala is everybody's taking Triphala. It depends. You should take only if you need it. It helps with detox, it helps with elimination. But if you take it when you don't need it, it can cause a lot of vata, it can cause a lot of drying. So there's nothing in Ayurveda which says it's good, everybody should take it. So who should take it is who needs it. When should take it? It depends on for what purpose you're taking. Triphala increases the effect of everything else because it affects the large intestine where the digestion is. So it depends on if you're taking medicine, which you want, if you want to increase the effect, take Triphala with it. Most people take Triphala at night because it causes purgation, it causes colon cleansing. So in the morning, they have a good, good cleanse, good elimination.
Yeah, I agree with Sonalji, but Triphala is not a generic medicine for everyone. And young kids, we should not encourage them to give, or we should encourage their natural body to get their immunity. Only at the age of Vata cycle. Again, in Ayurveda, we talk about everything Vata Pitta cycle. When you cross 45 above, and if you have a constipating nature, and then you can allow to take self medication of Triphala. Other than below 45, consult a practitioner. And again, Triphala is not all three fruits are equally mixtured. And according to their prakriti, according to their need, as I just said in the beginning, is a tailor-made medical composition we usually give. So Triphala is generally we can take it, but be careful. And amount, as he said, half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. And the carrier in Ayurveda, that is most important, we call the carrier the anupana, we call. And buttermilk, lukewarm water. Other than that, don't take it. Don't mix with the ghee, don't mix with anything. Only these two anupanas are the best for Triphala.
Thank you. Next question is how to support your microbiome while fasting.
So microbiome gets a hit if you're fasting inappropriately. So not everyone should fast. So based on your prakriti, so a kapha person should do more frequent fasting and longer fasting. Vata person do the opposite. They should not be, and pitta same way. The pitta prakriti people they should not be doing a lot of fasting. So if you do fasting not according to your prakriti, your gut microbiome will get affected. The way you can protect is you can eat fiber. Take a lot of fiber during that time if you can digest it. Take a lot of probiotic food and drinks because you can still fast in that way. Ayurveda doesn't say only drink water on most of the days. You can, if you're taking the grain fast, you're not eating any grains, you can still eat fruits and vegetables. Or if you cannot eat anything, make sure that you are not dehydrated at least. That will protect the gut microbiome also.
Sonalji, on the same lines, what are the recommendations for intermittent fasting?
Yes. So now intermittent fasting has changed to time restricted feeding because it's a fad. It's good for some people again, not good for other people. So you have to talk to a practitioner and see if it's good for you. Not everyone should not do it because we have to eat when Agni is high. Usha, you talked about the Agni has to be appropriate for digestion. So if you're eating at the wrong time, most people who are doing intermittent fasting, they're eating within the 4 hours of Pitta Kal. That's why it's good for them. But if you're not doing that, then don't do intermittent fasting. Generally, it's not recommended as a general guideline for most people.
Yeah, and your thought on Sonalji, same thing. Like, what's your thought on Nirjala fasting during Ekadashi?
Yes. So Nirjala Ekadashi, when we don't drink liquids also, that's just one day of the year. Okay, one day of the year. The scriptures doesn't say that you should be dehydrated on the Nirjala Ekadashi. You can hydrate yourself properly. One day we will not get that much dehydrated, but there are rules also for Nirjala Ekadashi. So if you are in a desert walking through Death Valley, you should not be fasting Nirjala Ekadashi on that. So it's all about common sense. You have to see what if you are in a very hot environment, you're sweating a lot, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. And good food. What is the good food for vitamin B12?
This question is for common or anybody particularly they want us answer.
Just
Both can
general,
answer
I'm
this.
Okay,
assuming.
general.
Usha ji,
Okay,
you go
so
first.
the food part, the kitchen part, B12, usually all the skins that has a very good vitamin, or the best vitamin you can get it from the sesame seeds, the fiber or peanut fiber that you get it, or the latest, the fancy word is moringa. So people are talking about moringa, moringa. You can get it from moringa.
But
Or
not if you're a pitta person.
again, yeah, that is why I said more on fiber. Go with the skins and all. Every skin is a B12, and more of a nuts fiber is also B12. Or the other way is the moringa shots you can go. Or otherwise, the best B12 that you'll get, the best is velvet beans.
So my answer is actually just the, I think, interpretation of Ushaji's answer. So the reason why most dietitians will say use animal parts for vitamin B12, because vitamin B12 is produced by gut microbacteria, gut microbiome. So if when you eat animals, in those animals also it's a gut bacteria which has produced. When you eat a lot of fiber, which is prebiotic, you're boosting the growth of good bacteria, and they in turn produce vitamin B12. So you can either eat what Ushaji is saying, fiber, but if you cannot digest a lot of fiber, then drink digested food, probiotics, what we call it, or eat probiotic food. Even that has a lot of vitamin B12.
And we are over time, and there's a lot of questions. So if people want to drop off, Sonalji and Ushaji, can you stay for a little bit longer?
Ji, yeah.
Okay. And then I want to be cognizant, so please do drop off if you want. And then do ask Srinivasji and Srivatsaji if you want more of these sessions. The next question over here oh yeah, I think this is for Ushaji. Is it okay to eat salad first and then the cooked food?
No.
No.
Opposite.
Never. Salad, and I mean, I wanted to clarify, Ayurveda accepts a salad which is like a something non-cooked food. Cucumber is very, very natural. Unfortunately, cucumber is not a vegetable. It went into the vegetable category. You can have it. Avocado is not a vegetable. It's a fruit. Unfortunately, it went there. You can have avocado uncooked. But no salads.
Yeah,
Okay.
should be. Most of the salad. Well, I think people are talking about leafy greens, which are bitter and astringent. They come actually in the end. But if you're eating what Ushaji is saying, sweet fruit like a melon, which is cucumber, or if you have sweet dressing on the salad, that can also save you a little bit, because sweet is what we should be eating first. Yeah.
Awesome. I think the next question is for Sonalji. Does FMT work for cancer?
So there has been research done on it. Cancer is a multifactorial disease. So that's why for single factorial disease, you can easily measure it in the laboratory. You can see the effect immediately. Like if you have inflammation, you can see reversal. If you have a weight gain, obesity, diabetes, you can easily see it, because they are not so much multifactorial. Cancer, depending on what kind of cancer it is and how, because cancer has a timeline. So depending on the stage. But what I can say is you can prevent cancer for sure by FMT. And now we don't have to do FMT by using, as we say, Panchgavya, probiotics, and cow dung and all. That definitely protects from cancer, 100%.
Okay. And then if it on the same lines, I think if a vegan, is it good for what is good to eat and for microbiome improvement? What are the foods for vegan diets?
Fiber, fiber, fiber. A lot of fruits, vegetables, good fiber, both digestible and indigestible fiber. Inulin, like chicory root, has good fiber in it. As Ushaji was talking about skin peels, they have pectins in it. So a lot of fiber comes in very lot of variety. So all kind of balanced kind of fiber. Vegan people actually have a better gut microbiome. Meat can be also healthy, but it doesn't support gut microbiome that much. So for vegan people, it's sky is the limit.
And I can
But
add here for them is a banana stem. Banana white stem is the
Mhm.
best for that for them.
Oh,
They can
nice.
make anything.
Okay. Um, and then can we have some slide or something for kids and teenagers that we can, because it's easier for adults, but it's hard for kids and teenagers.
I said Ayurveda, so even for dogs and cats and plants. So definitely kids qualify for that. So yeah, if there's a session planned for kids, definitely can be done.
So over to Srivatsaji and Srinivas Badamji for that. Next question is how to avoid constipation.
So, shall I go first?
Yeah,
How to
Ushaji,
avoid constipation. First thing, everybody stop drinking coffee in the morning.
Oh no.
Yes, that is the most important, and then that is a main cause to create the constipation. Constipation, according to Ayurveda, is not to get the urge, bowel urge. Constipation is irregular bowels are also comes under constipation, or uncontrollable bowels are also comes under constipation. Whenever my mind, my body wants to get the urge, is also comes under constipation. So lack of control is also comes under constipation. So coffee is the first root cause for it. And second thing is not having enough fiber and water. As Sonalji mentioned, in Ayurveda, we emphasize every food should have some moisture in it, lubrication in it. If we can have such things, we can definitely can avoid constipation. But of course, there are some other issues are there that.
So gut microbiome is directly responsible for constipation, and all the factors Ushaji presented in the slides, they were all affecting the gut microbiome. Coffee and all the vata producing food, they will dry out, and dehydration is the worst enemy major contributor for constipation. So fiber, moisture, and then also there's a vata constipation, pitta constipation, kapha constipation. Degrees change. So also again, know your prakriti and find out why and your vikriti and why you're having constipation. If you want temporary relief, taking castor oil helps. Triphala also helps if you take in moderation. So they are SOS kind of thing. They are not lifestyle choices. They are just treatment for acute constipation. And there are
Yeah,
many like that.
yeah, thank you. We have a lot of questions coming in. I don't think we'll get to everything, so I think we'll need another session just for Q&A, Srinivas Balanji. So I think we'll take
Ranjitaji,
another
what
two
we'll
more.
do is maybe you can do another two questions and then we
Yeah,
can end it.
yeah, we'll take two more questions and then we'll stop this. How about Ashwagandha? Can anyone take it?
I can go with it. Ashwagandha cannot be taken by everyone, and at the same time, there is no restriction. Ashwagandha can be taken by anybody, but under the practitioner's guidance. It
Yes.
is not a self medication.
Ashwagandha is very potent, very powerful, and very powerful for Vata. These days, it's very popular because a lot of people are suffering from anxiety and Vata disorders. That's why it has become popular. But again, it's not sustainable that people who do not need ashwagandha are taking ashwagandha. And it's not practical from financial point of view, and it's not practical for environmental point of view also. So only those who need it and the right amount should be taken.
Okay, last question. Can we take probiotic stuff that's available in the market?
So it depends on, there's a lot, it's $1 billion industry, probiotics now. So it depends on what you're talking about. So what is one of the most common probiotic drinks were kombuchas. Kombuchas or apple cider vinegar, they do have some advantages initially, but if you overdo, they're not sustainable. And on a long use, they can cause a lot of side effects because they're very acidic. They increases pitta. They can actually degrade the asti dhatu also a lot. So people who have very bad gut health, even if they take apple cider vinegar or kombucha, they can get benefit. I have done testing on a lot of capsules, like the probiotic capsules. Most of them are not even active. You put those bacteria in a jaggery water or sugar water, and for 1 month it will not get fermented. So because this industry is not regulated, do not go blindly. There are certain brands which have shown some effects in clinic, but then again depends on how bad your gut health is. For most of the Western people, the gut health is so bad that even if little bit activity is there in probiotic, it shows immediate effect. For most of the Indians, our gut health is not that bad because we eat Indian food. So then
Yeah.
We may or may not see effect.
Okay. We have 55 more questions. I don't think we can get
Oh,
to it. Yeah. So I
Can I,
think we should
Ranjita,
give.
can I say the quote which there was a quote which is very relevant to our this time of the year.
Sure.
So so there was a disciple of Charak, and he asked, "Is there anything that balances all the three doshas, all the seven dhatus, helps the release of all the three bodily wastes of malas, promotes the production of ojas, increases sattva, and is suitable for all ages, and can be done in all seasons and everywhere in the world, and does not cost anything?" Charaka had an answer for him. He said, "Yes, wake up early in the morning and take a walk in the light of the rising sun." So now, instead of just taking a walk, we can do Surya Namaskar also in the light of rising sun. But this is the Charaka giving his best advice to the student.
All right. Thank you. That is interesting. And for like the 120 people over here who are in here, I think we should bring the Sonal and Usha ji back, because I've heard amazing things that, Sonal ji is also into gardening. He has put all his practice into gardening also. Maybe we can have a session on that. And then Usha ji can talk only about doshas and prakriti and go on and on for that. So it's up to you guys. With that, I think we should conclude. Should we like say the Shanti mantra?
Go ahead, Ranjita ji.
Yeah. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaः Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukhabhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyavad Sonal ji and Usha ji for taking this session, and thank you, Ranjita ji, for being an MC for this webinar.
Yeah. Thank you all. Shubharatri.
ధన్యవాదాలు.